significant milestone for the Indian economy, viewers. The GDP of the country has reached $3.75 trillion from around $2 trillion in 2014. The comparison is what is essential and key in this data that we're trying to put out. Now, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman tweeted these official figures highlighting the growth of the Indian economy under the Modi government in the last 9 years alone. From the 10th largest economy in 2014, India's economy is now the 5th largest, behind only the United States, China, Japan and Germany. The Finance Minister hailed India as the bright spot in the global economy, pointing out that despite global challenges, India received the highest ever FDI inflow of more than $84 billion in 2021-2022 from $36 billion in 2013-14. But while the government hailed the growth figures, the opposition wasn't quite ready to buy the government's claims. Congress was quick to allege that the figures are fudged and do not reflect the reality on ground. Listen in.
About these figures,
their claims do not match the current situation in the country. They can fight the figures, they can claim anything, but the ground situation is contrary to the figures, contrary to the claims, and it's unbelievable on the figures of the present government, because whoever gives the true figures, they are sacked. People don't give the exact figures, but the figures is that 23 crore Indians have slipped back into BPL. 27 crore Indians were brought up out of the BPL category under the Manmohan Singh government during 10 years. But the record of this government is that 23 crore Indians have gone back into the BPL category, coupled with huge taxation. Government is earning, government is making money, but the people are suffering.
Finance Minister Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman has said that the economy is growing day by day and is in very good health, whereas on ground we see mass unemployment and high rates of inflation. The madam might not eat onion and garlic, but rest of India does need it to survive. So I must say that the government is hell-bent on breaking the bones of a common man and just appeasing their corporate cronies. I must say that they cannot hide behind the bush. And I must say that they should start thinking for a common man.
The BJP also hit back at the Congress's claim of figures being fudged, saying not just the government but the World Bank and the IMF have hailed India as the bright spot. The BJP further stated that by 2030, India is expected to become the third largest economy.
The thing is that the Congress and other things leaders of the opposition, they are not quoting the right figures. And then even those figures which are released, whether it is the NSSO or Ministry of Finance, RBI, even international institutions like World Bank, IMF, they are all saying very eloquently that India is the brightest spot in the world economy. Every figure, whether it is the GDP growth rate by the NSSO of 7.2% or the fourth quarter year-on-year growth of 6.1%, they are always saying that these figures are not correct. They are not basing their information on them.
अभी वो 68 के आसपास चल रहा है कंजम्पशन. कोविड के कारण थोड़ा इसमें 1-2% का वेरिएशन आया. दूसरा पार्ट है इसका आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट जीडीपी में पब्लिक भी होता है, प्राइवेट भी होता है. इसमें तेजी आई है. और तीसरा पार्ट होता है नेट एक्सपोर्ट हमारा कितना बड़ा है इन दोनों. हमने सारे टारगेट अचीव किए हैं, इवन क्रॉस किया है. तो आने वाले समय में आईएमएफ भी कह रहा है, वर्ल्ड बैंक भी कह रहा है और रेटिंग एजेंसी कह रही है कि 2030 पे इंडिया थर्ड लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमिक पावर बनेगा.
Let me go across to Sabyasachi joining us live with more details. The government claims that the economy has reached, the country has reached $3.75 trillion from around $2 trillion in 2014. They've also gone ahead and asserted that by 2030, India is going to be the third largest economy. Currently, remember, we're on the 5th position. Given this, Sabyasachi, what are the facts that the opposition is resorting to in saying that these numbers are fudged?
Well, absolutely. See, after Nirmala Sitharaman has announced that there is a growth in India's GDP, and from the 10th position, now India has reached the 5th position in global economy. The opposition parties are seen attacking the BJP and the central government. The opposition parties are stating that with the increase in GDP, the BJP government had earlier announced that they are going to reach 5 trillion economy, and in 9 years of the BJP government, they have not reached their proposed target. And in the country, educated people are continuously leaving the country in search of job in other countries, and the unemployment rate in the country is also increasing. And these are the claims which has been made by the opposition parties. They have been claiming that the unemployment rate and the inflation continues to grow in the country, whereas the BJP is focusing on the GDP. Meanwhile, the war of words is going on between the Congress and the BJP and other opposition parties, whereas the BJP clearly hinted that by 2030, the economy is going to rise even further, and in the global index, India is going to reach the number 3rd position. So at this particular time, the oppositions seem not impressed by it, and they are continuously attacking the central government, stating that the government should first focus on the unemployment and inflation in the country and then talk about the GDP growth.
Very interesting, because, you know, the BJP is not only today citing that number and citing the comparison from where our GDP stood in 2014 compared to the latest figures, has also said it's not just the government but the World Bank and the IMF as well who have hailed India as a bright spot. Let's see how this plays out. It's a very interesting war of words that is coming to light. Sabyasachi, thank you for joining us with the latest. We quickly shift our